Hey guys, welcome back. So as you can see, we no longer have the 260Z in the garage. It's actually at the body shop, and I'm actually getting ready to drive my 280Z for the last time up here, and we're going to start pulling the engine and getting it ready to go in the 260. But anyways, as you can see, I've already parted out the 280, the turd 280 as I've called it. I got the engine in here in the garage as a spare engine. Got the transmission broke away from it. We're going to go clean all this up. The R200 rear end is out. Got to get a new flywheel. The flywheel's in really rough shape. It's got a lot of pitting. Of course, the clutch, you can see just how bad this thing was rusted. But like I say, the turd 280 had sat outside with the hood open, so water just kind of got in that thing. But the transmission's in good shape and the rear end's in good shape. So that's really what I was after. And so we got that. But the other parts of the 260, I've got the front end actually getting sandblasted right now. We dropped it at the body shop, so I'm taking care of kind of the suspension stuff. So I got the rack and pinion here for the steering, and going to replace, of course, the knuckles and ball joints and all that good stuff. But that's kind of what's going on with it. I know I haven't gave you any updates on it in a while, but basically just been parting out the 260s, getting it ready to go to the body shop, and welding in a few brackets to make the 280Z stuff work in the 260. But we got a new clutch already, so got the clutch kit, and of course cleaning up some of the some of the plates and stuff that go between the transmission and engine. But today we're going to actually get this car pulled up. This will be the last time this car ever runs, as it's a complete car. I'll walk you down here and show you real quick. I've taken my good wheels off of it already. Had to pull the front struts off this car because the shock absorbers were actually seized into the chambers on the 260Z. So I had to take my 280Z strut towers, and I'm going to put the shock absorbers in those. Something I ran into with that 260. Even though it's in good shape, I ran into that. There's no oil in the chambers of them, and they had actually rusted in. We heated them up, we beat on them, we tried everything to get those shock absorber cartridges out. Couldn't do it. So that's kind of why you see this. So it's actually got 260Z front struts on this car right now. But there's our engine, and our fuel tank is out of this car. I pulled the fuel tank already, got it stored away, as you saw on the 200SX video. So I've got right now is I got a fuel pump rigged to the back bumper, and I just dropped this into this fuel tank here, and then I got my return lines all watered up here, but I didn't want to cut this line because I'll be using it. But basically I dropped that in the tank for the return of the fuel injection system, and that's how I run this thing. No seats, so I sat in the floor to drive this thing. There's no brakes because I got the front calipers off the car, so I just have to kind of be very careful because you can see we got quite an incline right there. It might be hard to tell on camera, but anyways, let's get this thing started up. We're going to pull it to the garage, start draining the fluids, and we'll get this engine ready to pull. It's kind of a sad day because I really enjoyed this car, and like I say, I'm not parting this car because it's a 2+2. That's not the reason. The reason is, of course, the rust damage that's in it. It's got severe rust, and that's the only reason I'm doing this. But we got the nice L-28 N42 engine, none California, so this is what's going to be powered in the 260. So pretty cool. So let me see if I can get this thing started. So I'm going to first get this fuel set up here. We'll see if we can get this car to run like this. I may have to prime that line because this pump's not really made to siphon gas. It's really made just to run it. Hose off real quick. Down the fuel. Get our turn line. And a trick I do with this car to prime it, because it really don't have a prime setup, I unplug the starter so that I can just turn the key over and prime the fuel injection system. Unplug our solenoid. See if this pump will prime up. Sounds like we primed. Now, let's go see if this thing will crank. Let me plug my starter back in. So now we can actually make the key turn the starter over. Yeah, so last time this car runs, turn off that fuel tank like so. I'll stick this back here so I don't lose it. I'll pull this down, just kind of hold everything in place. Has some fuel leak. Looks like one of our injectors is leaking there a little bit. Anyways, let's get this thing pulled up to the garage. It's up here. So that's the final drive of this thing, sadly. But it's also a good thing. We're going to have a really nice car when we're done with this thing. So I just pulled the line from the fuel tank and we're going to drain the fuel system, the fuel rail, let it drain all the fuel out of the lines. And we're going to run it, let it drink the fuel. Bad connection. So I can fix that real quick. Let's try that. Well, nothing. Lost voltage altogether. Alright, it's the next day here. We're about to go wash up the transmission and rear end using some oven cleaner here to clean them off. You see how the grease just kind of peels off. I'll let it sit overnight. And then I'll also show you this flywheel. I didn't show you that yesterday. But you see how scarred up that thing is. Right there. Of course, there's my rotors. But should clean up pretty good. You can see inside the bell housing as well. And here's the engine. Got it all soaked with degreaser as well. Trying to cut a lot of the grease off of it. We got a rear main seal leak, so maybe something we'll address here as well. We're going to take all this to the car wash and use some good hot water to wash everything up. Should look pretty good, hopefully. Alright, and now the engine all washed and tore apart here. We went and disassembled it, took all the accessories off of it, the AC compressor, the intake, the exhaust manifold, and now we got it down to just where it's just the block. I've drained the oil, and of course we've washed it really good. Gotta, you know, clean the aluminum up. But N42 head, So if you want to know, this is how you can see what head you've got. You actually a little casting number right there. So if it's an E88, it'll say E88. If it's an N47, it'll say N47, etc. And then here's our engine block serial number. It's L28100470. This is the original block from the 280Z. So this was a matching number car. But just a good look at one tore down here. Of course, I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to pull this apart, do a timing chain, probably might pull the head on it. I know I've got a head gasket leak just a little bit, but this has got the square port exhaust where the N47 has the round ports, so it breathes just a little bit better. But got that all cleaned up. Of course, we washed the transmission. It looks a lot better. You can see we've got a lot of that grease off of it, and the rear end looks much better as well. I'll be cleaning all that up a little bit more and detailing it. That's our R200 rear end. And I'll show you the car too. I hadn't showed you this since we pulled the engine. We'll walk down here to it. Pulled it back down here with my tractor. And now we don't have an engine in this thing anymore. So here's how it looks. We decided to keep the transmission in it since we're not using the automatic. So we just kind of hung it up there, and I put some wire and a piece of wood in there to hold the torque converter in place. But now I can get in here and I can do all the wiring work I want to do. I'm going to get rid of all these fusible links and going to actually put in fuses, some thermal fuses in some places as well. Converting this over to a 260 bracket, so no longer look like this. It's early 260, so it's more like a 240. I just stuck the radiator back in there. And I had an overheating problem, and I have now found out why it had an overheating problem. We have some junk in that block. So I'm actually going to be flushing that block really good. But if we look in this radiator, I'll see if we can look down in there. There is trash. I don't think you guys can see it. But there's trash in all those ports. So it's just absolutely full of trash. Even though we had good green coolant, it just had something break loose in the block, which I figured it would. I figured that was a problem because this thing did come out of a junkyard and all this was disconnected. So I literally had to put all this back together when I was getting this thing running out of the junkyard. But anyways, it's kind of sad, like I say, to see this car without an engine, but you know, everything in this car is going to go in that 260, so it's going to basically be the soul of this car in the 260. So kind of neat in one sense, but we've had a good time with this car. I've had it since 2019, and I think I put about 9,000 miles on this car, so that was not bad for a junkyard car. That's pretty good. But anyways, guys, I'll have more updates as I go through this project, but I just want to give you guys some updates on the Z car. And I want to document more. I'm sorry I didn't document more. It's really hard to pull an engine, record, and all that kind of stuff. It's just you know, a lot of stuff going on there. But anyways, take care and stay tuned for more of this project. And just a little extra for you here. I decided to go and pull the front of the engine off here. Check the timing chain. Mostly because I broke 2 bolts off when I was trying to change the water pump I guess last year it was, or actually a year before last. Now I can get access to them to finish removing them. That one broke where I can probably get on it and work it out of there. The other one broke pretty much flush, so I got to drill that one out and tap the hole. But I also got to flush this block. You can see a lot of the junk in there. But this engine is not in bad shape overall. No more bolts broke, which is one reason I wanted to go and pull this front cover off, because I was really afraid I was going to have more bolts break. But you can see the water pump. I got by. I just put some RTV in the holes. Not the best thing to do, but you know, what are you going to do when you break a bolt off like that without tearing it down? Much easier doing this without it in the car. So anyways, just thought I'd show you that. Timing chain looks good. It's good and tight, plenty of tension, so it actually looks really good. But just a little extra stuff for you there. Just thought you might enjoy seeing that. But thanks again for watching.